A woman has been caught stealing from Greggs in East Ham, London. Check this out.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's John. Today we're going to talk about Greggs, one of Britain's favourite bakeries. But as of lately, it feels like it's been a bit more of an all-you-can-steal buffet rather than somewhere that you go in order to get your sausage roll or steak bake. Today, I want to look at just some of the rampant crime epidemic that seems to be going on in Greggs stores, and we'll talk a little bit about Greggs itself. So let's kickstart this by watching the first video.
A woman has been caught stealing from Greggs in East Ham, London. Check this out. This woman obviously doesn't realise that she's being filmed, and she's taking as many baguettes as she wants. And as you can see, she's got a hood up or scarf up, and she's got sunglasses on to try and hide her identity. As you can
At what point have we reached where it is just completely socially acceptable to walk into a high street retail store, lift what you want and walk out? Just the absolute brazenness of it is jaw-dropping to me.
She's got 3 baguettes in her hand, and wait for it, because in a minute she just strolls out like nothing happened. I am absolutely lost for words, people. She literally did.
So as that commentator there on TikTok mentioned, he's jaw-dropped over it, as am I. That is just one of the clips that we're going to talk about today. Greggs was founded in 1939 by John Gregg in Newcastle upon Tyne. It was floated on the UK Stock Exchange in 1984, and since then it's gone on to open 2,500 outlets across the UK, and it's recently introduced drive-thrus, delivery hubs, and a whole host of new aspects of ways to shop with Greggs. But with that comes also the rampant scourge of just plain thievery. And I've recently talked about the death of the UK high street, but what I want to understand is, at what point have we reached where it's effectively seen as okay to just walk into a store, grab what you want, and walk back out again without basically being challenged? Now, I want to state here, I used to work in retail. I've worked in Halfords. I worked as a psycho sales assistant when I was a kid. I've seen thievery. I know what goes on in stores, but I've never seen it as just brazenly carried out as it is in these videos that I'm going to share with you. What is happening to our society that this is deemed as acceptable? And I'll say, I feel so bad for the Greggs staff who've got to put up with this, because it's clear that management are issuing a notification to staff to say, don't challenge, don't step in the way. Look, no sausage roll is worth your life, right? No profit of an organisation like this is worth your life. But what does this say for us moving forward in terms of shopping? Stores will just simply close up, or they'll turn into windows on a high street where you just walk up, collect, and you can't see the product, you can't touch it anymore. That's where we're heading. Let's take a look at this second video.
Gangsters. Man said, yo, fuck that. Man's grabbing everything today, you know. He's not even playing good.
You're not working it. What the fuck are you doing?
Man said work, you man work.
Do your job, bro. Hey! Go! Give me that. What? What's man doing, bro?
Live on robbing the shop, you know. Live on robbing the shop. Nah, yeah.
I mean, fair play to that member of staff, right? He's really trying to kind of create some kind of challenge towards the person, but you can see the brazenness. There is no repercussions for stealing at this point. I don't know what the current cash limit is that you can avoid prosecution. I know in the US it's like $1,000. I think here in the UK might be closer to about £250. But I just think walking in and stealing stuff like this on camera, nobody cares. Nobody cares about CCTV. Nobody cares about being recorded. Nobody cares about being challenged by a member of staff. And they just steal and walk out the door. This is no way to survive, and the stores will not last. If you think that retailers are going to keep stores where they're making a loss, or they simply will pass it on to you, the consumer. So the average Joe Bloggs who walks into a Greggs and pays the £1 or £2 for a sausage roll, that will soon become £2 or £3 and beyond. And only then will we start to wonder, why have the prices gotten out of control? Well, it's because Greggs has to make a profit, right? I don't know if you've looked at a Greggs share price recently. It's here. But they aren't doing too badly, are they? I mean, it seems to me like for a stock price that costs this, that's kind of a little bit crazy. But obviously management, they can only do so much and they're telling staff don't intervene. But fair play to this person who's at least trying to have some pride in their job. Let's look at the next one. In this clip here, you can see that this gentleman, he almost looks like he's just came from a night shift, or he's finished his factory job. He's decided he needs something to eat. He's walked into Greggs, and as you can see, other people are just standing around watching, but watch what happens. As casual as you like, he walks out the door with his lunch, his dinner, whatever he's got. No challenge, no repercussions. There was a trend going around about a year ago where it was talking about, when did you last think about the fall of the Roman Empire? We are in it right now. We are in the decline and the fall of Western civilization. And when you see videos like this, it's hard to say anything other than I'm lost for words. How have we got to this stage where staff are intimidated to want to protect the stores that they spend every single day for their job as part of an organisation that is apparently comfortable with this level of threat? Let's have a look at this one. You can see here this guy's literally just filling a bag. No challenge, empties an entire cupboard, goes to the second cupboard to make sure he's got everything he needs, and that's the end of it. And now on to yet another video. In this one, a guy dressed relatively well. He's got his dungarees on, he's got his nice leather jacket, he's got his hair tied back, walks into Greggs, grabs what he wants, and out he goes, followed by his mate, while somebody sits and watches. Just, what is happening to the country? When I worked in Halfords, when I was about 18 years old, I watched two kids come into the store on a Thursday evening. They looked like they were probably about 16 years old. One of them went to one end of the store and the other to the other. And I followed one, and you would have codes that you would call out on the tannoy system to let people know that there was potentially a theft happening in the branch. Would be a number that everybody would recognise so that they would be alert. I'm following one kid, a member of staff is following another. He comes round to the bike section, and right at the front door, he lifts off a mountain bike and he's kind of giving it a little size up as if he's interested in buying it. And then he just, in an instant, hopped on the bike and rode straight towards the till. Front doors were lying open. Now, just by pure chance at that moment, there was a gentleman on his way in one of the open doors, and as he saw the kid riding out the branch and us shouting, "Stop him!" the man who was coming in literally clotheslined right across the throat this kid right off of the bike. And see, the second that the kid hit the deck, the man grabbed him, picked him up and started running to the back of the store. It turned out that was an off-duty police officer, and he clotheslined that kid off that bike. And we took him through the back storeroom and we locked them in the staff room while we waited for police to come. That would have been in the early 90s, right? Now, could you imagine anybody clotheslining somebody running out of Greggs store now? Your life would be over. You would be called out on social media, you would be named and shamed, you'd be doxxed, and you would find yourself in court for charges of assault on the robber. And that's why we're in this situation now where people walk into a Greggs and steal and the staff are powerless to do anything about it. But who wants to live like this? Who wants to live in a country where this is what goes on a daily basis and we literally just stand back and let it happen? In this clip that I'm about to show you, two people walk into a store, dressed well, pick up their lunch, and let's see what happens. Watch the woman in green. Watch the man in the cream jacket. I mean, do these people look hard up? Do they look starving? Or have they just worked out that nothing will happen? I've turned the audio off on this clip because somebody put James Bond music over the top of it, so I've had to mute it for copyright. But off he goes, no care, followed by this woman. And everybody just watches them head off down the street. Like, society, people. Society. So let me show you this clip here where at least a member of staff has taken it upon themselves to try and at least challenge a person. They've probably just reached a point of exasperation and thought, no, I'm not having it. And look how it plays out.
No, you're not having all of that.
I'm fucking
No, you're not.
telling you
You're
now.
not having it.
Telling me.
You're not having it.
Yeah, I'm walking out.
No, you're not. You're not.
What play? What play? Listen.
No, it's not having
Leave the
it.
shop.
It's not having it.
And so, yeah, you can see her frustrations there, right? She's having a bit of a kick at him. She's managed to pull his jacket off him, but even other staff are pulling her back because they're like, it's not worth it, right? Nobody wants to get a jab with something and then you've got to go through all the stresses and strains of dealing with that, or a scratch or a punch, or God forbid you challenge them and then they call the police and you're getting done with assault because you've tried to defend your stores, because you can absolutely guarantee that Greggs management will not stand behind you in a court case. So I feel for that woman. And look at where it ends up. This is a video that sparked this in my mind. I'm seeing staff here now in Greggs putting bike locks, a bike lock round the cabinet to stop you just walking in and stealing it. This is America. This is what's been happening in America, and we've allowed it to happen here. And the government and the police are allowing it to happen on a daily basis, and it's just shrugged off. And it costs you and it costs me in the pocket because the prices will keep going up and we're the ones that pick up the slack from it all. A bike lock.
We're to blood clot teeth, man. What the fuck them a bike lock pan in a Greggs, in a for the fridge. The blood clot.
So, you know, when you go into a store now and you're nipping in there because you're on your lunch break and you just need something quick from the cabinet and you can't get it, now you know why. All right, so just to lighten the mood a little bit before I finish on this, I know I've been giving Greggs a little bit of heat there, but Greggs will not be the only retailer who is finding themselves in this situation. There will be many others. Greggs just happens to be a fairly small store where staff are often behind a glass counter, which means it takes much longer for them to get round to even consider challenging when somebody's walked in and walked out. But just to give you a little bit of a tickle, slightly separate to all of that, this was an American tourist who was blogging about going to a Greggs and what she decided to call the Greggs store at the time. Enjoy this.
Oh, it's this place called GR Eggs. If you're looking for a really great place for breakfast in England, go to this place called GR Eggs. They have really good sausage rolls and
Wait, it's called Greggs.
it's what?
Greggs, not GRX.
Greggs. No, GR Eggs.
All right, so that was a little report there on GR eggs. Have you seen some of the videos posted about this? Have you seen some of the crime yourself? Let me know down in the comments. What a terrible situation this is that we find ourselves with daily thefts like this. This isn't people that are hard up. I'm not going to listen to that excuse. You saw some of those people in the videos, well dressed, look like they're out on their own lunch breaks from their marketing department from the afternoon and just deciding that stealing is okay. It's not okay. This is the downfall of our society. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.